Welcome, Braves fan, to Indian Hill High School Gymnasium, where the Indian Hill Braves will be taking on the Wyoming Cowboys for the first matchup of the CHL season. The Braves come into the game 0-1, and the Cowboys are 1-0. Tony Harris is with me tonight in the booth to be our color commentary. I'm Rob Young. So, Tony, what's going to be the key to this game tonight?
Well, the key to the game, I think, is getting into the Wyoming bench. Their 5 starters are very, very strong. They returned 4 of their 5 starters from last year and a superb freshman. Their bench is not as strong, and Indian Hill has a much stronger bench. So the key will be trying to get their starting 5 either in foul trouble or tired, and hopefully take advantage of numbers 6 through 8 on Indian Hill, and hopefully the lack of depth that Wyoming might have.
So. One of the keys, I think, for the game tonight that's going to play into this is that Wyoming has had 2 extra weeks of practice, where the Braves literally have had a week to practice because they went so deep in the tournament this year for football. Absolutely,
and ironically, Indian Hill's the one who knocked off Wyoming and gave them a little bit more rest in basketball practice. So the benefit that had in football might hurt a little bit here with basketball. Wyoming is also out for a little bit of revenge. Wyoming was 14-0 last year in the CHL, won every game, including twice against Indian Hill, but in the state tournament, Indian Hill played a phenomenal game and knocked Wyoming out of the state tournament. So these guys remember that, and they're probably out for bear. Indian Hill now has knocked off Wyoming in the state tournament in football and basketball back-to-back, and Wyoming brought quite a contingency of fans here with them, and this place is going to be raucous.
It's going to be electric tonight. Both student sections are looking big and strong. During the JV game, there was a little bit of commotion, so I think we're going to see that. Tony, just remember, Foot Locker does not close at 8 o'clock. It closes at 9 o'clock. If you're going to tell the refs that, make sure you get the numbers right. I think you offended an official by taking an hour of his work time away from him. So, as we get ready here to have the introduction of the players and the national anthem, Tony, the big thing that I think is important with both these squads is what we're going to see is not only a great game tonight, but we're going to see the future for both these squads. Both squads are young squads. Wyoming's a little more mature as they've got more 11th graders on the squad than Indian Hill, but both squads start a dominant underclassmen roster.
But I'm with you, Rob. Both teams only start 1 senior. Each has just 1 senior starter and 1 senior that's a major contributor. So that's a big difference. The future is very bright for both these programs.
So we'll take a break here for the national anthem and the introduction of the players.
Tonight's officials assigned to this contest have been selected according to the procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Cincinnati Hills League. Our officials for tonight's contest are Jamie Cavalier, Matt Johnson, Joe Yoshimura, and King Jet Lee. We live in a country like no other. We ask everyone to rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Tony, maybe you can sing it for us.
I don't think you want that.
Well, Tony, that had to be one of the most unusual national anthems we've heard. It was done in round with Indian Hill starting, Wyoming following behind. If it's any indication what's coming in this game, it's going to be loud. Both sides are going to be proud, and I think we're going to be in for some exciting fireworks tonight.
Lineups for tonight's contest. For the Wyoming Cowboys, coached by Tim Edmonds. Please welcome number 5, Aaron Prater. Number 11, Mason Rogers. Number 12, Lonnie Grayson. Number 14, Jake Edmonds. And number 31, Joey Edmonds. And now, without further ado, your Indian Braves. Senior number 3, Nick Heidel. Junior number 4, Dawson Eichholz. Sophomore number 5, Colin Shaw. Junior number 11, Matteo Fiore. And junior number 15, Reed Eichholz. Let's hear it for your Braves.
So, Tony, there we have it. Our starting lineup for the Wyoming Cowboys. Graydon Prater is an 11th grader. Mason Rogers, an 11th grader. Ronnie Grayson, 11th grader. Jake Edmonds, an 11th grader. And making his debut in the CHL tonight, Joey Edmonds, number 31. I think we're going to see some spectacular things out of that young man as the season goes.
He's terrific, Rob. You and I both got to see him play as a 7th and an 8th grader, and people thought he was the best 7th grader and then the best 8th grader in the state. He was their leading scorer their first game of the year with 15, hit 3 out of 4 threes. And
here we go for the tip. It's double tipped by Wyoming. Wyoming gets the first possession on the right side of the court, out to number 11 to 14. It's to 31 to 11 to 12. 5 at the top of the key. Prater, 14. Number Jake Edmonds driving the lane, going up, and stuffed by Colin Shaw. Prater up, stuffed by Eichholz. Shaw with the rebound. Shaw with the fast break up the court, passing it to the right to
Heidel.
Matteo Fiore. Fiore with the ball to the right side. Dawson Eichholz to Shaw. Out to Reed Eichholz to Fiore to Heidel. Heidel in the corner, dribbles the ball, brings it back out to Fiore, who's at the top of the key to Shaw. Back to Heidel, the only senior out on the floor for Indian Hill right now. Fiore with the ball, looking to take it inside to Eichholz, who goes up for the shot and gets the 2 points. Reed Eichholz puts the Braves on the board first with 2 points. Bringing up is Joey Edmonds, the true freshman for Wyoming.
Interesting, Matteo Fiore's guarding Joey Edmonds. Matteo got that assignment early, just got a steal.
By Matteo Fiore, who
it's a little too
in a
aggressive.
fast break, gets a little aggressive and turns the ball over to Wyoming out of bounds. Bringing the ball in for Wyoming is Mason Rogers to Joey Edmonds as Edmonds brings the ball up.
Interesting matchups. Lonnie Grayson, the player of the year, is being guarded by Nick Heidel for Indian Hill.
Edmonds with the ball up at the key, takes it, passes it to Lonnie Grayson, who goes in the lane, misses a shot. It's rebounded by Wyoming. Heidel with the ball. So the rims are not favoring Wyoming yet. Heidel with the 3, and it's off the mark. Prater to Rogers. Rogers to Edmonds. Prater
loses some control of the ball. Indian Hill gets it. Interesting, inside, Reed Eichholz is being guarded by, they've switched it now. Eichholz is being guarded by Lonnie Grayson. Mentioned Grayson was player of the year last year as a sophomore in this league.
Out to Shaw, to Fiore. Fiore to Heidel in the corner, who drives the lane, gets it out to Eichholz, who goes up 4-2. The Braves are up 4-0 with 5:45. It's coming down the court quickly to Edmonds, back to Edmonds. Edmonds to
Mason Rogers.
Rogers to Grayson. Grayson drives out to Edmonds for the three, who misses it. Rebound by Dawson Eichholz. Eichholz to Shaw. Shaw brings it up across the midcourt, across the timeline, out to Heidel. Out to Eichholz at the top, who takes it against Edmonds. Edmonds on Shaw now. Shaw down to Dawson Eichholz, into Reed Eichholz on the block. Eichholz goes up and gets another two. So Eichholz has 6 points as Edmonds brings the ball up across midcourt. He's across the timeline. Pushes it out to Grayson, who puts it back out to Mason. Grayson with the ball to Edmonds, number 14, to Edmonds, freshman. To Prater to Rogers to Edmonds. Edmonds being guarded. Out to Grayson, who's being picked up by Nick Heidel at the three-point line. Out to Joey Edmonds, who drives the lane, comes back out, loses control of the ball. Fiore with the ball. Over to Heidel, who's being picked up by Rogers. Fiore across the half court to Shaw, who's got the ball, who drives in and loses control of it. It's back to the other side. Picked up by the Braves. That was Colin Shaw with a great defensive play. It's to Heidel. Heidel gets the points, and it's a foul on Prater. So the Braves are coming out, bringing the heat. Coach Edmonds is not happy with that call, but Prater definitely was moving his feet. He did not have position, and he was evidently taught how to take the flop.
Two subs getting ready to come in for Indian Hill. George Davis is a transfer from Seven Hills. He is a senior. And Marco Fiore, a sophomore, Mateo's younger brother, replaces him.
So Fiore comes in for Fiore, and Davis comes in for Reed Eichholz. With Heidel at the line for the and one. It's an 8-0 game with 4:11 left. Heidel misses the shot, rebounded by Rogers. Rogers to the younger Edmonds. Edmonds picked up by Fiore, out to Rogers. Rogers being guarded by Eichholz. Eichholz travel on the player of the year, Lonnie Grandison, returns the ball. What?
It's Lonnie Grayson. Yeah, he was player of the year last year. He's getting a little frustrated. He's got a couple turnovers already.
Well, for a Brave squad that wasn't put together until 14 days ago, has had 10 days of practice at the most. The Braves are looking good. Heidel with the three, and he drains it. It's an 11-0 game. Edmond coming up, and it's a quick timeout by Wyoming. So, Tony, this is what the Braves needed to do. They needed to come out hot. They needed to come out pressing hard.
And you notice that Coach Burke has already made several substitutions. They've got to keep these guys fresh and keep them on top. Wyoming will not make very many substitutions, and we've got to get them tired. Prater already has one foul. He's the only man with size, really, for Wyoming. And to get him a second one in this first quarter would be terrific if they could drive in and get him and force him to sit, because Prater's about 6'6", and they really don't have anybody else above 6'1" on this team.
So it'll be Wyoming ball out of bounds. It'll be the elder Edmonds bringing it out. Still in the game for Wyoming are their starting five. Younger Edmonds, Rogers, Prater, and Grayson.
So they will not make very many substitutions. These five
Edmonds
are going to play the
Grayson, Grayson to Prater, Prater to Rogers. Rogers feeds it in to an open Grayson, who finally puts Wyoming on the board. Heidel's bringing the ball up the court, gives it off to Fiore, who brings it across midcourt, who's guarded by the younger Edmonds. Shaw out to Heidel, Heidel to Eichholz. Eichholz back out to Shaw. Shaw to Davis, to Fiore, to Eichholz. Bounce pass to Heidel at the top. Davis with the ball to Shaw. That's a bad pass, but Shaw recovers, puts it out to Heidel, who goes up for the three and drains it. So Nick Heidel is 2 for 0 on the 3 points tonight.
Beautiful.
Edmonds goes for a three, and he misses, and Shaw gets the rebound over Prater. Shaw's bringing the ball up, and Braves are pushing hard. Shaw dumps it to Fiore. Fiore drives the lane and makes a bad pass that's intercepted by Grayson, who puts it in. So Grayson has the only 4 points for Wyoming, as the Braves are up 14-4 with 2:26 left here. Fiore to Shaw.
And Mateo Fiore getting ready to come back in for Indian Hill.
Eicholtz with the ball out to Davis. Davis to Shaw. Shaw drives, dumps it into Davis, who loses control, and it goes out of bounds, but it will remain Braves ball off of Grayson's foot. So Mateo Fiore comes in for Eicholtz, and I think you're seeing a very, very smart play on Coach Birch's side. Like you said, it's going to take the Braves going down to 8, 9, 10 men and just keeping everybody fresh. It's out to Shaw, who's gets it in the backcourt, bring it up past midcourt. He's at the timeline, guarded by Edmonds. Edmonds follows him into the lane. Heidel with the drive to the lane, and a missed shot as Rogers brings the ball up, pushes it to Jake Edmonds. Edmonds drives against Fiore, and it's a block shot by Marco Fiore, who quickly brings it up across the timeline, gets it out to Mateo Fiore, and that's off the mark, but it was a Braves rebound. The guys just didn't talk. It's to Edmonds. Edmonds gets the ball, puts it in. It's a 14-6 game. Fiore to Fiore. Fiore brings it up to midcourt, and the Braves quickly call it timeout. The Braves have gotten a little sloppy there, allowing them to come back into this game with 6 points, but they're still playing incredible basketball considering where we are in the season. Just
terrific. It's Wyoming has 4 of their points off of 2 Brave turnovers. Got to be a little bit more careful with the ball. They've also got to get some scoring from somebody other than really Heidel and Eicholtz. The last game against Anderson, 3 guys made up 78% of the scoring, and Mateo Fiore, Nick Heidel, and Colin Shaw. Shaw is not on the board yet, and we know that's just a matter of time.
The Braves aren't missing tonight, which is a big change from the game against Anderson. They were, what, about 56% against Anderson?
In the field. Actually, it's 50%. Substitution, Jake Fry is in for George Davis.
It's out to Heidel, back out to Shaw, who's at the timeline to the 3-point line, and dishes it to Fiore. Fiore to Fiore to Heidel. Heidel drives, goes inside, puts it up, misses. It's rebounded by Shaw, who dumps it to Fiore, who puts up a 3 and drains it. So the Braves have missed one 3-pointer all night. Shaw on Jake Edmonds at half court. They're at the timeline. It's off to Grasson on the right to Prater, who goes in and gets the score. We're not sure who number 33 is, who's in the game for Wyoming right now. He's not on the roster that we have. We'll find out at halftime. Shaw up for 2.
There's Colin. He broke into the scoring column.
Edmonds at the timeline brings it up against Shaw, who dishes it to Grayson. Grayson drives the lane out to Prater, who does a fake and gets the shot off. It's rebounded by Rogers. Rogers up, block shot. Heidel with the rebound. Fiore up to Shaw. Shaw
just warming up.
Edmonds coming up the floor, drives all the way to the lane, gets a jumper off, and misses at the buzzer.
What a great first half.
So the Braves 21-8 in the first quarter of this game. Who would have ever thought that we'd have this kind of game, Tony?
Points. This is phenomenal. This is absolutely phenomenal. They're hitting on all cylinders. Shaw got hot here at the end of the quarter and gets 4. So they're getting nice contributions from an awful lot of players, and the defense has been absolutely outstanding.
So the Wyoming student section has seemed to calm down quite a bit.
This is like the Wyoming Library right now, and hopefully it'll stay that way.
So very interesting play by Coach Birch. The Wyoming bench is got to be exhausted. Oh, wait, the bench isn't, but the starters are exhausted.
They've only subbed one player, and he only played less than a minute, and Indian Hills played 9 players in the first quarter alone. So I think what Coach Birch is trying to do is tire them out, and hopefully in the fourth quarter their legs are going to be a little soft.
But as we know, this game is young. We're only in the second quarter, and we know how well coached the Wyoming squad is.
That's terrific, and it's this is a family affair with Wyoming. Tim Edmonds is a coach, and the coach is a son of a legendary coach, Earl Edmonds, a Hall of Famer. And his son is a terrific coach, and he's got 2 starters on this team. It's a real family affair here at Wyoming.
And it's the Braves ball to start the quarter. Fiore comes across half court, dishes to his brother Fiore, out to Colin Shaw, back to Fiore. Down to Reed Eicholz in the corner, back out to Fiore, out to Shaw. Shaw looking to drive against the younger Edmonds. Eicholz takes a 3, and it's off. Fry can't get the rebound. It's a fast break for the Wyoming Cowboys with Joey Edmonds out at Grayson with the ball at the 3-point. He drives. And the ball is awarded to the Braves.
That's Coach Edmonds is not very happy right now, and he might have a reason for voicing a little displeasure. I think
he's thinking Foot Locker right now. Foot Locker. Shaw to Fiore. Fiore drives, dishes it to his brother Fiore, who drives. Almost loses control. It's back out to Shaw, who's guarded by Edmonds. To Fiore, who's now picked up by Prater. Bounce pass over to Fry, inside to Eicholz, who puts it up. Great ball movement by the Braves as they get fast break. They got to get back on defense. Edmonds to Rogers. Rogers, who looks to put it up but doesn't. Edmonds drives to Edmonds, who's in the lane and loses it, but picks it back up. It's out to Prater at the 3-point line, who puts it up, and it's tipped by Fry. Rebounded by Rogers. We got to get those rebounds. And it's a fast break by Fry. Out to Fiore. So Fry tries to lay it up in there. He should have just gone, and that ball's stolen by Joey Edmonds as the Cowboys
and a foul on Fiore
get a foul on Fiore for a reach-in.
That's the first Indian Hill foul of the game.
It's only the second foul of the game. This has been one thing that I do like is the refs are allowing them to play. But Wyoming calls a timeout. They're not happy. Wyoming's not happy. He's getting all over his players because they are getting shown up big time. This is reminiscent of last year's state tournament game.
Absolutely. If Indian Hill played a great game in the state tournament and knocked Wyoming out when Wyoming thought there was going to be a layup for them, and Indian Hill came out with the same fire and vigor, and Coach Birch has them going right now.
Now we've seen the Braves with some mishandled balls, but they seem to recover. It's early in the season. A lot of these guys play football. Their basketball legs aren't underneath them yet, but they are doing a phenomenal job.
On both teams, 3 of Wyoming starters are major cogs of their football team, and really right now you've got 4 of the 5 Brave starters are football players as well.
So you got Rogers with the ball out to Grayson. Grayson looking to swing it out to Prater at the 3-point line. Prater guarded by Eicholz. It's to Edmonds. Quick dish into Rogers. Rogers back out to Edmonds. Edmonds to Edmonds. Edmonds being guarded by Fiore. Fiore. Grayson guarded by Marco Fiore. Stops the player of the year. It's out to Prater. Eicholz on Prater. Rogers to Edmonds. Edmonds to Grayson. To Rogers at the top.
Well, if there were a 30-second clock, it'd be in great shape.
To Rogers, to Prater, who puts it up for a 3 and hits the mark. So that's the first 3-pointer for the Cowboys tonight. It's a 23-11 game right now. Fiore brings it up across midcourt, out to Fiore, past the timeline, dishes to Shaw, swings it around in the lane, dishes it to Fiore, who gets a nice put in. But they got to get back on defense. Swings it up to Rogers, who drives the lane, dishes out to Grayson, who puts it up, is off the mark, and it's going to be a foul on Jake Edmonds.
Right over
the
Fiore's
back.
Yeah.
So Fiore had position, did a great job of boxing him out and getting the foul. So it's going to be Eichholz bringing the ball in, and we've got number 33 in for Wyoming again. Again, we don't know who this player is. I think they picked him up off the street.
Colin Shaw has taken his first break of the game. They just took him out and brought Heidel back in. So all the Braves players have at least had a chance to catch their breath, and they can't say the same for the Wyoming guys. So this is to
Heidel to Fiore. Fiore at the timeline, down to Eichholz. Eichholz drives, dishes it out to Fiore. Fiore drives, dishes it out to Eichholz, who puts up a shot, and it's off the mark. But it's going to be Rogers with the rebound. Wyoming coming up the court, picked up by Eichholz. Prater with the ball, guarded by Eichholz, who has his hands straight up in the air. And, that was all ball. That was all ball.
Like
So that'll be Eichholz's first foul. The Braves are up 25-11 with 4:27 left. Prater will be at the line for 2. Well, Tony, one of the hard parts about our booth is we've got the Indian Hill student section right in front of us, and at times it gets difficult to see this close corner. So you're going to see my trick. I tend to stand on chairs.
And at 6'6", that gets you up there pretty high.
So Prater makes his first shot. He'll be taking the second. In the blocks for Indian Hill are Eichholz and Eichholz. And Prater hits his second. So that's only the third foul shot of the night. We had one with Heidel with the and-one, and that was the Wyoming's first time at the line. And both squads are 100%.
And Shaw just came back in the game. That wasn't for Matteo Fiore, but Shaw was out maybe, 40 seconds, 50 seconds of game time. So they're not going to leave him out very long.
Looks like we're getting a
clock
call.
violation, a clock problem. It's the clock did the start.
Okay, so we've got a technical difficulty here in the first home game for the Braves with the clock. Davis comes in for Eichholz. So Shaw will bring the ball out for the Braves. So on the floor for the Braves, you got Shaw, Fiore, Heidel, Davis, and Eichholz. Fiore with the ball out to Shaw.
And Wyoming just put a sub in.
Shaw to
O'Gara.
Davis in the paint.
George Davis.
And George Davis gets called for the charge. And Wyoming has their starters back in the game.
Well, they have number 2, O'Gara, has come in, and he just came in a couple seconds ago, so they do have one sub in there.
So Rogers to Edmonds as they bring it up.
So that's O'Gara to
half court, picked up by Shaw. Grayson with the ball to Rogers at the top of the paint, to Grayson inside, who puts it up and misses, and it's a rebound by Dawson Eichholz. Fiore with the ball, pushing it up to Shaw. Shaw with the three-point shot, and he drains it. So Colin Shaw is hot tonight. Edmonds up to Rogers. It's a missed pass, but Rogers keeps control. It's to O'Gara. Grayson with the ball.
It's an offensive foul.
It's an offensive foul on...
I think it's O'Gara.
Foul is on O'Gara, the lone senior on the court for Wyoming. You know, we talked about Grayson being the player of the year last year as a sophomore. He's only a junior. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
He quit playing football and any other sports that focus on basketball, and it's paid dividends for him.
Fiore to Eichholz. Eichholz looking to Shaw, to Fiore. Out to Eichholz at the timeline to Shaw on the upper wing. Shaw looking to put it into the paint. It's back out to Fiore above the timeline. Fiore drives, gets up, and
Marco Fiore.
And if you would have noticed, little Joey Edmonds thinks he knows how to flop, but it didn't work that time.
Well, Wyoming was in some sort of zone right there, and I think they're getting a little tired, and they want to play some zone and save some legs.
Grayson with the drive to the dish to Edmonds. Edmonds out to Rogers. Rogers to Prater. Prater drives and makes that turnover. Shaw with the ball. driving with the jumper, and it's going to be off. It's going to be Wyoming ball as Wyoming pushes up the court to Rogers. Rogers at the three-point line, dishes it to Prater, and it's going to be on Reed Eichholz. That'll be his second.
Yeah.
Eichholz allowed Prater to get position on him and tried to get it back and got called for the foul. So coming in is Fry for Eichholz. As Edmonds inbounds the ball to Rogers, who misses it. Prater with the ball, dishes it out to Edmonds at the three, who drains it.
That's a shame.
Fiore across midcourt out to Eichholz. Eichholz drives to Shaw. Shaw to Fiore. Fiore looking to inbound to Heidel. Heidel looking for position for the mismatch to Shaw. To Fiore.
Timeout.
And Birch has called a timeout. He's not happy. He wasn't happy with a call down, with a missed call down at this side of the Indian Hill end of the court. I don't think he liked the way the Braves were setting up their offense.
Been a little sloppy the last couple possessions. They need to finish things off with crisper passes, and that's a shame. But still have a 14-point lead with 2:02 left until halftime. And the Braves come back out. We'll take Dawson Eichholz out. So
both coaching staffs were giving the refs an earful that timeout. The Wyoming bench was giving the younger official an earful, and Birch was giving the old timer an earful. It's Fiore to Fiore. Fiore drives, gives it to Fiore, who's got Edmonds on him. Out to Heidel, who drives, gets the shot off and misses. And it's rebounded by Joey Edmonds, who's pushing the ball up the court, across midcourt, drives to the lane, gets a jumper, and it's off the mark, and it's rebounded by Heidel. Heidel dishes it to Fiore. Fiore to Shaw, who's in the corner with Grayson on him. Out to Fiore at the top.
Wyoming's back in a man-to-man.
Fiore with the ball to Shaw. Shaw's been guarded all night by Grayson. Heidel's got Rogers on him. Down to Shaw, who's now got Prater on him. Shaw rolls and puts it up and misses it. It's rebounded by Heidel. Great rebound by Nick Heidel. Back out top for another try. Heidel at the top to Fiore on the right side. Fiore out to Shaw at the top to Fiore on the left. Fiore out to Fiore. Fiore to Shaw. Shaw looking to drive against Edmonds. To Fiore at the top, out to Fiore. The Braves are just eating up clock now.
They might be holding for one.
Fiore with the ball with Rogers on him. Dishes it to Fiore, down to Shaw. Shaw out to Fiore, who dishes it out to Fry, who loses control but gets it back. Out to Heidel. To Fiore.
Both teams have fouls to give.
To Heidel, who puts the three up and drains it. And drains it. That's another three-pointer by Nick Heidel, who has 11 points tonight. So the Braves have Heidel with 11. Shaw with 7.
The Braves have
Fiore with 3. And Fiore with 4 on the floor right now. Shaw on Edmonds, who drives, takes a jump stop and gets the basket at the buzzer. So Tony, let's sum up this first half. Clearly, Indian Hill came out for blood tonight.
Absolutely.
They knew that they were going against a team that was better prepared, probably because they've been practicing longer. A team that's loaded in the starting 5. But I think Birch recognizes that past the starting 5, Wyoming doesn't have anybody.
Well, the Braves definitely have some real pep in their step. They're playing aggressively. They're playing really hard. And Birch has used his bench very wisely. They've used 9 players in the first quarter, 9 players in the first half, and he's been able to give his starters a little bit of a blow, and Wyoming hasn't had that luxury. It's really hurt them. Wyoming's been a little bit soft and slow getting back, and Indian Hill's been able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, one thing I do know about that Wyoming team is they practiced, I think, all 5 days of the Thanksgiving break.
They're a dedicated bunch. They're a tough team, and we've got a 15-point lead right now. I know Coach Birch would be very, very happy if there were all zeros on the scoreboard as far as the clock goes and the game were over. They're a tough team. We know they're going to come back, and we know they're going to make a charge, and hopefully our guys are getting some rest, and they'll be equal to the task here in the second half.
Well, I'm Rob Young, and this is Tony Harris with us tonight in the booth at the Indian Hill Braves season opener home game against the Wyoming Cowboys, where the Braves lead 33-18. We'll sign out here till the beginning of the third quarter. Have a great halftime, folks.
Indian Hill Television Network produces coverage of many of the school sporting events, so be sure to catch all the boys and girls action on this community access channel. For playback times in your area, call the ICRC at 772-4272 or visit their website at www.icrctv.com. Coverage of Brave sports on the Indian Hill Television Network wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the Indian Hill Boosters, the PTO, and the ICRC. Their grants have provided us with the equipment to bring Indian Hill sports off the field or gymnasium and into the community, and we appreciate all they've done to develop our television programming. Coverage of tonight's game on the Indian Hill Television Network is a presentation of the Indian Hill High School Video Department. The Video Department provides the community with educational and school-focused programming through the facilities of the ICRC. Let us know what you think of this sports production on the Indian Hill Television Network by calling our viewer feedback phone at 272-4590. Phone lines are open 24 hours a day, so give us a call and tell us how we're doing. The Indian Hill Television Network would not have been possible without the support of the following contributors: Buskin Bakery, Steve Ginn, the Indian Hill Boosters, PTO, and Maintenance Department, and the ICRC. Exclusive coverage of tonight's game on the Indian Hill Television Network has been a copyrighted presentation of the Indian Hill High School Video Department.
Welcome back to Braves Gymnasium, where the Indian Hill Braves lead the Wyoming Cowboys 33-18. Tony, first half pretty impressive for the Braves to be up by this many points.
Just terrific. They played with a lot of fire, a lot of passion. The defense was great. They covered for each other. They found the open man and guarded him. They passed the ball beautifully. It's textbook. They really came prepared for this. Give Coach Birch a lot of credit and give the kids a lot of credit. They're playing terrific, and let's how it keeps up here for the next 16 minutes.
Yeah, and what we do know about the Wyoming coaching staff is they're not going to be happy with this, and I guarantee you they were not giving those boys a slap on the back. That they were telling them they need to bring their game back. They need to take control of this game and get this thing back home.
They're starting five guys who have played 96% of their minutes the first half are out there again. Both the Edmonds boys and Mason Rogers and Prater and Lonnie Grayson.
So in the lineup for the Braves, it's number 11, Mateo Fiore, number 4, Dawson Eichholz, number 5, Colin Shaw, number 15, Reed Eichholz, and the senior on the team, number 3, Nick Heidel, who had 3 points.
He played really, really well. Boy, he really played great against Wyoming last year in that state tournament game, and he's picked up right where he left off.
If Wyoming doesn't get it in, so Grayson's got it in the backcourt, brings it up across the half court. He's picked up by Heidel at the timeline, who dishes it to Edmonds and to Prater, who loses control, who's guarded by Eichholz. Eichholz follows him down into the paint. It's out to Joey Edmonds, who's guarded by Fiore. Edmonds drives, puts it up, and gets a bad shot.
A late whistle.
And a flop. So Joey Edmonds looks like he's going for an Emmy Award tonight here with his 3rd flop on the court, but he's been able to pull 2 fouls. That foul's on number 4. Dawson Eichholz, his first.
He's amazingly smart and resourceful, especially for a freshman.
And it's the Wyoming Cowboys with the first points of the half. So Edmonds with 2 points there. Fiore brings it up across midcourt. He's out to Heidel. Heidel, who's picked up by Rogers, to Shaw in the paint, who puts it up for 2.
Well, that's quick. Collins got 9 now, and remember he was virtually shut out in the first quarter.
Rogers to Grayson. Grayson that's a moving pick.
It's a missed shot too.
To Heidel, to Eichholz. Eichholz to Fiore, to Shaw. To Eichholz. The Braves are playing discipline here. To Fiore. To Shaw, who's guarded by Rogers. Out to Heidel, who's guarded by Edmonds. Heidel takes it into the lane, and he's up with the 2.
Wow.
So the Braves are looking great here. That was great textbook driving the lane. It's down to Grayson, past the timeline, back out to Edmonds, to Rogers, to Edmonds, who centers it back up, who's guarded by Fiore, dishes it down to his brother Edmonds, to Rogers, to Prater, to Edmonds, down to Rogers, into Grayson, who gets it, who gets blocked by Colin Shaw. So Colin Shaw out to Eichholz. Shaw will bring the ball up past the midcourt, all the way up to the timeline, dishes it to Eichholz on the right wing, to Eichholz. Eichholz out to Eichholz, out to Heidel. I'm sorry, that's Fiore to Shaw. To Eichholz, who has the ball, and he gets called for the travel.
It's a drop step. He's allowed to do that.
Well, we've seen some poor calls tonight, but the play, at least it's been consistent in both directions. Edmonds brings it up to half court. And I got to say, this Wyoming team looks tired.
Hopefully if the Braves can continue to put pressure on them and they don't sub much, they'll continue to be tired.
Edmonds up top of the timeline. Edmonds to Edmonds, down to Rogers, out to Grayson, to Edmonds, out to Edmonds, who's in the lane and
travel.
And turns the ball over. Edmonds is slow to get up. It's Heidel down to Eichholz to Fiore, who puts the three up and drains the three. I got to say,
they need a timeout here. A timeout for Wyoming.
The Braves have come back out and are extending their lead. It's a 40-20 game with 5:15 left, Tony. What do you think?
Whatever Birch is feeding them in the pregame meal, I want some. They are absolutely incredible. They're playing so well. This is just terrific. This is not a cupcake game. This is against the preseason favorite to win this league, and they are dominating.
Yeah, you know, the loss to Anderson the other night, you know, Anderson has a fabulous duo of players over there that are going to be playing in the college ranks.
Well, I thought Anderson played well. I thought Indian Hill was really very sloppy, but they've corrected in just 6 days. It's just amazing the corrections that coach has made, and they're just focused and driven, and the kids are seeing open men, and their defense is great, and they're getting every loose ball, and it's terrific. They're playing. It's following in the football team's footsteps, and most of these kids are football players.
So Edmonds brings it up past the half court. He's guarded by Fiore, the 11th grader. Dishes it to Rogers, who's picked up by Dawson Eichholz. Out to Edmonds at the top of and he's off the mark, and it's going to be a Colin Shaw rebound off a tip by Eichholz. Heidel up for a three, and he's off the mark that time.
Dawson Eichholz
with the rebound to Shaw. Shaw drives, dishes it out to Heidel. Heidel down to Fiore. Fiore out to Heidel. Heidel to Shaw. Shaw drives against the player of the year last year and gets the 2 points.
Banks it in.
Wyoming's pushing it up the floor to Prater. Prater's picked up by Reed Eichholz, out to Rogers, who has a little space and drives the lane and gets the shot. He's going to get called. Shaw gets called for the block. So it'll be Colin Shaw's first foul. Second team foul of the half. Rogers will be at the line shooting 2. And it's a short shot. This is not the typical Wyoming team we look for, who's fundamentally always sound. They're missing shots. They're not getting rebounds. They're turning the ball over on passes.
Well, Mason Rogers is not really a scorer for them. He does a lot of other things. He rebounds. He plays terrific defense, but shooting is not one of his strengths.
And Eichholz gets the rebound out to Shaw, coming down the right side of the court, dishes it down to Fiore, who drives into the lane and puts it up for the 2. So the Braves take it to a 22-point lead. Edmonds coming up the court, and to Rogers, to Grayson. Grayson gets a nice screen, who gets it to Rogers, who goes up, who gets the 2 points. Wyoming with the full court press. And we're going to Heidel.
Timeout, Indian Hill.
So Birch quickly calls the timeout. I think he was worried that they were going to get called for
5-second inbounding, yes. Yep.
So that'll be Braves' first timeout of the half.
Second of the game, 44-22. Braves Shaw. Are just continuing to play great, driving the lane, dishing off well, looking for the open man. It's a clinic right now.
So the Braves are going to have the ball deep in the backcourt, and Wyoming is bringing a full court press now. I think this is a sign that they're getting desperate.
Well, this is it. It's now or never for Wyoming. They can't go into a fourth quarter down 18 or 20 points, so they have to make their move now. And as tired as their guys are, and you can see them, they look tired. They're holding their shorts. These next 2-3 minutes are going to be real indicative, because Wyoming could be spent if Indian Hill can maintain this lead, and Wyoming has to expend all this energy in a full court press. Fourth quarter might be a lot of fun for some of the JV kids.
Inbounded to Shaw, who's got the ball, who's going up against the older Edmonds, who dishes it to Heidel. Heidel's picked up at the half court, who gets it down to past the timeline to Eichholz. Eichel swings it out to Shaw.
George Davis in the game as a center.
Eichels with the ball. Dishes it to Heidel on a beautiful pass.
Dawson Eichels with a beautiful pass, and Eichels with the drive, or Heidel with the drive, excuse me.
Gets it into Prater. Prater's against Davis. And he's going to get called for the foul. So that'll be Davis's first. No, that'll be his second foul. But that's okay.
To third team.
Third team foul. Prater at the line shooting 2. He completes the first. Fiore's at midcourt waiting for the ball. You know that Prater's going to put this up if it goes in. The full court press is going to be on. And here we go. Davis bringing the ball in. It's into Fiore. Fiore against Edmonds. Fiore bringing it up the right side down to Shaw past the timeline. Shaw back out to Heidel.
Caught another foul on George Davis.
That'll be his third foul.
He's pushing off of Mason Rogers down low.
So that'll be a turnover credited to Davis and his third foul. Fourth team foul. Edmonds bringing the ball up. The older Edmonds coming across half court, picked up by Colin Shaw into Rogers, who's guarded by Davis. Inbound into the lane is Prater. Prater goes up and makes the basket. Shaw looking inbound to Fiore. It's to Fiore, who's being guarded by Edmonds, who gets it over the half court to Shaw, who gets it back to Fiore, down to Davis, who goes into the paint and
gets a foul on Prater.
That'll be Prater's
second
foul. So George Davis, the transfer
from Seven Hills
senior, 6'1", at the line for his first attempt at a free throw. Davis misses his first one. Eichels is coming in for his brother Eichels. So the Braves have two sets of twins on this squad. You got the...
Actually, the Fiores aren't twins. Right, the Bosworths.
The Bosworths are twins.
Yeah, you're right.
And you got
the Eichels.
And the Eichels.
And then the Fiores are brothers, and of course Wyoming has the Edmond brothers.
The Wyoming basketball program has been a family affair for a long time. Wyoming coach Earl Edmonds is seen in the stand watching his grandsons play. Grayson left open with the three-point shot. It's rebounded by Fiore, who's all alone. He's down, he's in, and he misses. Edmonds down the court with the ball on a fast break. He drives the lane, gets cut off. Prater with the three-point shot, and it's off. It's going to be Fiore with the rebound. Fiore drives up the court. He brings it across the line to Heidel, who puts up a three, and he's hot. He is hot. He is hot. He is hot. That is his 18th point of the night, his 5th three-point shot. I don't think he's missed.
Well, foul. He's calling.
Foul on.
On Nick.
Colin Shaw comes out to take a breather. It's 49-26, a 23-point game. Wyoming has the ball. Fry comes in for Davis, who's got 3 fouls. So the Braves are reloaded with Heidel, Fry, Fiore, and Eichels on the floor. It's inbounded to Prater. Eichels up, and a great block shot by Eichels.
No hurry.
Heidel dishes it into Fry, who gives it back to Heidel inside for 2 and extends the lead to 25 points. Grayson goes up for a 3 and misses the mark, and it's rebounded by Fiore, who's up the court. That's a bad pass by Fiore.
There's no hurry.
Grayson goes up, gets stopped, and
Foul
it's
on
fouled
Marco
by
Fiore.
Marco Fiore. So he'll be shooting 2 at the line. That'll be the team's 5th foul.
Well, it's interesting. Wyoming's trying to pick up the pace and get the Braves to run, and the Braves are rested. They've got rested legs, and Wyoming looks a little slower right now.
Edmonds with his first and makes it. That'll make it 27-51 the Braves, as Dawson Eichholz checks in for his twin brother Reed Eichholz. So we'll have Heidel, Fiore, Fry, and Eichholz on the floor. Edmonds for his second shot here in the third period with 1:13 left. It's up, it's good. The Braves will be inbounding against a full court press. The Braves don't have their starters in. It's to Fiore, who has the ball. Fiore coming up the court, gets trapped. It's across the half court. Eichholz with the ball to Fiore. Fiore to Fiore. Fiore drives, dishes to Fiore, who goes up for the three, and that's going to be off the mark. And it's going to be
Dawson Eichholz. What a rebound.
With the rebound as Rogers gets upset. Out to Fiore. The Braves are going to try to control this clock now. Eichholz to Fiore. Wyoming's going to have to do something to make the Braves hurry up. To Eichholz. Rogers on him. Out to Fiore. To Fiore.
I realize Wyoming only has one team foul so far this half. They've got a lot of fouls to give.
Edmonds on Fiore. On Heidel. On Fiore. To Heidel.
Oop.
Heidel's trying to go against the younger Edmond.
10 seconds.
10 seconds left.
Heidel's going to take it.
Heidel up and misses. Edmonds whips it down the court. So it's a 51-28 game, 23-point difference. The Braves win the third quarter, Tony.
It's terrific. Absolutely terrific. And, you know, it's what's lost in all this is the Lonnie Grayson, the last year's Conference Player of the Year and a terrific scorer, has 4 points. At the end of 3 quarters, Lonnie Grayson has 4 points. That's just great team defense. They've had 3 or 4 different guys guarding him. They've had help, and they've really shut down Wyoming's go-to guy.
And the senior star tonight for the Braves, Nick Heidel, he can't miss.
Just terrific. You know, when we played, Indian Hill played Wyoming in the tournament last year and knocked them out, Nick had 22. And he's got 20 right now, and he's just able to do whatever he wants. He wasn't able to get off a good shot there at the end of the quarter, but man, that he's only missed like maybe 2 shots the entire game.
The Braves need to play smart basketball, control the clock, watch the fouls. Next foul, we're going to the line. We'll be in the bonus.
Well, no, the other way around.
No, that's what I mean. Wyoming will be going to the line on our next foul.
Yeah. Now, Wyoming's putting in a sub we haven't seen, number 44, Jack Gildia. So they're trying to give somebody a rest. That's Mason Rogers, who I believe has played the whole game, is on the bench now.
You got Mason Rogers and Prater on the bench. You actually got number 33, who we still haven't found out who he is. You got number 44 in the game.
That's Jack Gildia, but I think Mason, you're going to start seeing them foul. Maybe that's why those guys are in there, is to foul, because they're going to have to get Indian Hill on the line. They don't want Indian Hill just to eat the ball for a minute or 2.
Fiore drives in, dishes it down to out to Shaw, out to Fiore. To Fiore. Fiore drives to Fiore, who's guarded by Grayson. Causes Fiore to pick his ball up, makes a nice pass to Fiore, who dishes it out to Shaw. The Braves are looking strong. Colin Shaw. It's his 13th point of the game. Edmonds brings it up. The Braves need to play clean basketball here. No need to foul. No need to foul. That's a moving pick. Grayson with a 3, and he's off, and it's rebounded by Shaw. So it's very clear that Wyoming is going to football playing basketball style. Number 44 is a bowling ball out there. Took 2 Indian Hill players down trying to get the rebound, but Shaw comes up with it. It's Eichholz with the ball.
I think you're going to see Wyoming's going to have to try to shoot 3s. That's the only way they can get back in it.
Got Shaw with the ball out to Eichholz. Eichholz guarded by number 44. Gilda. It's out to Fiore. Fiore to Fiore. So Fiore dishes it to Heidel. Heidel drives the lane against Grayson, dishes it back out to Eichholz. I can't believe Wyoming's letting this go this long.
Well, they're going to have to start fouling, and they have a lot of fouls to give.
Fiore on Gilda. Fiore's in the paint. He puts it up and drains the shot.
Marco Fiore.
It's a 55-28 point. We're almost a 30-point game. And it's a timeout, Wyoming. Tony.
That's terrific. This is as good as Indian Hill has played, and this is a Wyoming team that was 14-0 in the league in the regular season last year. They haven't lost a league game since Korea, and
but it's very evident that they have 5 players on this team, maybe a 6, but past that they have nobody.
Now they really just have 5, and Mason Rogers isn't really an offensive threat. He's a great defender, and they just don't get much offense out of him. And you know, the other guy they've shut down. You know, you kill a snake by cutting its head off, and Lonnie Grayson has been cut off. He's got 4 points. He really doesn't see the basketball. He hasn't gotten good looks. The team has played great swarming team defense on him.
You talk about Grayson only having 4 points. The Edmond brothers have been held to 10 combined. Can you believe that?
And with a lot of shots too.
Yeah.
No, this has just been a dominating performance. Now Prater's back in the game. He's one guy who has given him some offense, but they're going to need to shoot a lot of threes.
And they're going to have to start fouling. There's less than 6 minutes left in this game.
27 points down with 6 minutes left. You can't win it by just getting twos and walking the ball up the court.
And the way the Braves have been shooting the 3, you can't let the Braves control the ball.
There's a foul on Dawson Eichholz.
So we'll be shooting 1-1 at the line. Will
Dawson's
be
second.
You know, this game is completely opposite of what I expected. I was hoping for a...
The only person who's more surprised than you is Tim Edmonds. Again, Coach Birch has done a phenomenal job in getting these kids ready. I
think Randy Church, who has kids in Indian Hill, who is a Wyoming alumni, who is best friends with Tim Edmonds. They played ball together in high school. I think he wanted to go coach a state championship team, and his own Indian Hill Braves, he's coached a lot of these kids in football before, is taking the win right out of Wyoming's sail. So Prater with his second shot here. It'll be a 25-point game. Rogers is back in the game.
Prater has 13 points now.
He's their
Wyoming.
leading scorer. Fiore dishes it to Fiore, down to Eichholz.
Beautiful.
To Fiore to Heidel. The Braves Braves could have scored already here. They're working on the clock. They dish it out. They're playing smart basketball. That's one thing I've noticed. They're playing smart, fundamental basketball. There's a bad pass.
Shoot. Yeah, just a little bit too aggressive there. They just need to take their time. Let Wyoming come to them. Let them foul them.
So Edmonds will bring the ball up to half court. Picked up by Fiore. It's out to Grayson, the player of the year last year. To Prater, who's going to put up a 3, and he's known to put up the 3, and it's off. And Eichholz has the ball. He dishes it to Fiore. Fiore pushes it up to Heidel. You know who Heidel's going to take it this time.
He's got 22. That's what he had in the state tournament game against them.
Edmonds against Fiore. And that's a steal
Marco
by
Fiore,
who puts it in.
Double digits for Marco.
59-30 game. We're at a 29-point game here. The Braves are not relentlessly.
Great defense by Marco.
Heidel with the rebound to Shaw.
And Edmonds is going to start subbing now. It's all over but the Ben Gay.
Shaw into the lane, and he misses it.
First thing he's done wrong all game.
A little overconfident on that put up. Edmonds with the 3 and puts it in. So we're back to a
26-point game. And now we've got just over 4 minutes left.
Heidel up the court with 4 minutes left in this game. Heidel will keep the ball, gets it to Eichholz, who's guarded by Joey Edmonds. Eichholz looking for to Heidel. Heidel to Fiore. You can see it in these guys' eyes. They want to shoot. They want to shoot, but they're listening to their coach.
Absolutely.
They are playing fundamental basketball. Heidel in and out. Rebounded by Fiore.
Look at this. Unbelievable. Oh, my.
You are kidding me.
Wow. Yeah. He obviously saw things differently than everybody else in the gym. Heidel's coming out. Timeout, Brave. This is an old-fashioned butt whipping. This is absolutely incredible, and what a great way to start the league season.
So it's 59-33, the Braves with 3:34 left. This game has been about determination, has been about focus, has been about team play. I mean, you got Heidel with 22, you got Shaw with 13, you've got
Marco Fiore with 10. Matteo Fiore with 6. This is terrific. I'm looking back, Rob. Wyoming last year, Heidel sat out the game at Wyoming, and Wyoming beat Indian Hill 72-47. It's a 25-point margin. I think the boys and Coach Birch would like to return the favor right now and reverse that number and put that kind of a number at the end of this game. This is just a phenomenal way to get the league season started, and the roles have been reversed now. I think Indian Hill is going to be chased now the rest of the year.
Edmonds.
Look at that. Look at the
loose ball.
Let's get Indian Hill gets every loose ball today.
Fiore to Fiore for the put-in.
Matteo Fiore.
The Braves are not letting up at all. They want this. They smell the blood in the water, and they are going for the kill. He got Grayson up at the top for a 3, and he puts it in.
Shoot, that's his 7th point now. You notice the Braves have ostensibly 5 guards in the lineup.
Yeah.
It's all ball handlers.
To Shaw on the inbounds. Shaw against Edmonds. Shaw bringing it up the court. He's to the midcourt. He's to the timeline, and it's stolen by Grayson. Another bad decision by Shaw, and he's stripped by Fiore.
They're going to call foul.
I like that play, though, by Fiore.
Terrific. You don't give anybody an easy layup.
Grayson will be at the line, going for his 7th point of the game, actually his 8th point of the game. And he misses.
Wow.
That's unusual to see a Wyoming player of his caliber miss a shot, a free throw.
He's a terrific all-around ball player, and I think the game's gotten to him. I think he's a little bit tired.
And he misses a second, rebounded by Heidel. You can't miss your foul shots.
Well,
Fiore goes into the paint and misses.
Mark.
You got to put those in, guys. Birch hangs his head. He's disappointed.
Well, he doesn't want him to shoot. He just wants to eat the clock now.
The boys are smelling blood. They want to rack the points up, and you can't fault them. Oh, and it's a steal against Prater by Heidel. Marco Fiore dishes it to Heidel, who dishes it to Shaw.
Colin Shaw.
Who dishes it back out to Fiore. Now we're going into the ball movement.
I don't think Birch wants him to take another shot.
You got to think that Wyoming should be fouling here. I mean, they've got 6 fouls to give before we're actually 5 to give before we're shooting. There's 2:01. Birch is just going to let it go.
Yep. Just melt the clock.
Fiore in, dishes. See, these guys are not going for baskets.
Nope.
Across the court to Fiore, who wants to shoot to Eichholz. You can see these boys just want to put it up, but they're playing discipline. They're playing for their coach. They're playing to make a statement against Wyoming. And
they're calling a foul on Joey Edmonds.
Joey Edmonds calling his own foul. Did you see that? Smacking him on the back 3 or 4 times.
And they're emptying the bench. It's like Birch lighting up his cigar.
Well, you got to think this is a great night for Indian Hill basketball. After the game's over, we will have Coach Birch in an interview to talk about this game. So, Tony, at about 30 seconds left in the game, I will say goodnight to you. You'll wrap us up and hand it off to me down on the court.
It's Jacob Ward with the ball now. Pass off to Brad Lewis, over to one of the Bosworth boys, and Georgie Favell. You got 5 seniors in the game right now for Indian Hill.
Yeah, Bosworth, Favell, Bosworth, and Bosworth is fouled.
Jacob Ward with the ball. Brings it in, passes over to Bosworth. Looking for Favell, passes over to Brad Lewis. Back to Bosworth. Bosworth to Bosworth.
We got lots of attorney groups out here. You got the
Georgie
Bosworth, Favell out to
Brad Lewis, over to Jacob Ward. 59 seconds left. Brad Lewis, cross-court pass to Jake Ward, and
you know you got to appreciate that Brad Ward. I mean, Jacob Ward just had that ball down on the box. He passed it out. He was wide open, but he's playing Coach Birch's.
Coach Birch called timeout. He wants to bring 2 more kids in. It's Winston Kane, a junior, and Joe Semrad, a senior, going to get 43.5 seconds worth of action.
Tony, you wrap up here. I'm going to go down and get an interview with Coach Birch.
Jake Ward with the ball, over to Brad Lewis. Brad over to Winston Kane. Back to Jake Ward, Bosworth, Winston Kane. A nice little game of keep away. Oh, little turnover there, and the ball comes right back to the Braves. Semrad over to Bosworth. Bosworth, and they're going to I think they called a travel before that went in. 16.4 seconds left. The Braves are up 25. And Wyoming has a host of reserves. They have taken their starters out and depleted their bench. And this, Bosworth just got up. A foul. I think they called that on, who did they call it on? 14 on one of the Bosworths. So what a terrific night here. The Braves have just played absolutely phenomenal basketball. Coach Birch deserves a ton of credit. The game in Anderson last Saturday was very frustrating, and the Braves just didn't look very strong, and they have looked anything but weak today. The week of practice and these kids playing together, it's an exciting team. The scramble for the ball, Winston Kane on top of it, and he gets tossed off by a Wyoming kid, but the game is over. The Braves win 61-36, 25-point margin, and that was the margin that Wyoming defeated Indian Hill at Wyoming last year, so turnabout is fair play. Just a great game. The scoring was shared by a lot of guys. Heidel obviously was the star of the game. From an offensive standpoint, but the entire team's defense and assists going after every loose ball. It's almost every ball came the Braves' way. Team rebounding. Just what a great game against a very fine team. Coach Birch and his boys deserve an awful lot of credit. The coaches are shaking hands, exchanging pleasantries right now, but I would love to be in that locker room and hear Coach Birch express his gratitude towards the team. And Coach Birch is walking across the court now, and I think Rob Young will meet him here in a minute, and we'll have an interview with him. But again, the final score, Braves 61, Wyoming 36, and Braves got out to a quick start, and it really was never in doubt.
You put up 25 points that night. 31 that night. And this has got to be a great way to start your senior season.
I mean, it is pretty great, come out and kick our rivals' butt. I mean, we've been putting in the work. We didn't have much time because of the football carrying over into basketball, but I think we're knocking the rust off, and I think we can have a great season.
One of the things I noticed, Coach Birch, was the conditioning. These guys ran the floor, and the big thing that I see that Wyoming's going to struggle with all year is they've got 5 players. They may have 16 on that bench, but they've really only got 5 players, and you took their game out of them in the very first quarter. They played great fundamental basketball.
I think, we're in good shape, but they're in great shape too. I think what it will boil down to is the heart inside these guys. We kept saying at the end of the game, just don't be tired. These guys were dragging, they were dying. They played as hard as they could possibly play, and the only thing we asked them, just keep going, keep moving, and just don't die. Take all the energy you have and just leave it right there on the floor. These guys did a heck of a job. It was a great game. I love it, and great rivalry, and we're going to have a couple more by the time the end of the season's over.
Yeah, the one thing that most people don't know that are probably going to be watching this online and on TV later this weekend is that you've had basically 10 days to work with this as unit, as a team.
Yeah, 10 days, but I'm telling you, I think what boiled down to a lot of things. We said it even against Anderson. We have 25 games under our belt last year. It's a lot of guys coming back with a lot of experience. I think Anderson, we'd like to have him later. We wanted to get the rust knocked off, and that's why we kept the game where it was. I think it paid dividends tonight, and we just got to continue this through. We got 20 more games, and I think we can get every one of them if we play really well.
Yeah, great fundamental basketball, Nick. Great first start of the game. Great season high points. You got to beat it next game. What would you tell the student body? I'd love to see more students in that stand than what there were tonight. They were great, but there's a lot more students that come to Indian Hill. What do you want to say to them?
I think we can keep providing wins, and winning is fun. Being at the games, making the environment awesome. That's all we could ask for.
It was a fun game to watch. Congratulations, Coach Birch. I'm Rob Young with the IHTN, signing off.
Appreciate it.
Great job, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Possible without the support of the following contributors: Buskin Bakery, Steve Ginn, the Indian Hill Boosters, PTO, and Maintenance Department, and the ICRC.